In 1953, two young boys were found bludgeoned to death in Stanley Park. Coined the Babes in the Woods case, they were left nameless until now. Vancouver police confirmed their identities as David and Derek Dalton. The half-brothers were 6 and 7 years old. According to media reports, their grandniece, Allie Brady, uploaded her DNA to a genealogy site, and authorities made the match. Brady told local media that the boy's mother, Eileen Bousquet, was Métis. She died in 1996, and it is not known if she had anything to do with the children's murder. Trish Hurtubise is an investigative genetic genealogist. She founded the Indigenetics Advisory Society last year. She joins me now to discuss. Trish, we're so thankful that you could join us today. What was your reaction to the quote that the fact that the Babes in the Woods could be of Métis descent?
My first reaction was, well, first I was very excited to know that this case had been solved after so many decades. And then it was almost just like the disbelief that they were of Métis descent, because we weren't expecting that. There were so many theories out there that didn't involve a Métis background. Yeah. So it was shocking.
Yeah. How can investigative genealogy help with all of these cases of missing, murdered Indigenous people and those who haven't been identified?
I believe it has untapped potential because there are so many cold cases sitting in different law enforcement departments that are waiting to be solved, and they appear to be of Indigenous descent or unknown, like these boys. And now investigative genetic genealogy can close those gaps and also, put some of the numbers of missing and murdered Indigenous people who may be unidentified in cold case lockers or whatnot. So I think it can start to put puzzle pieces together.
Yeah. I know you've been doing this for long before, kind of the national collective or the North American collective really started noticing or paying attention to missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls and men. You started this with an Indigenous focus. Explain to us, I've known you doing this for a long time, but why were you compelled to start doing this?
I was compelled because I believe that there's not enough awareness about it to know the potential it has, to the gifts it can bring to communities and families by bringing answer and closure. And it's bringing science into the social circle, Mm-hmm. And because it wasn't out there, it's not out there, who better to bring it forward than somebody who has hands-on and somebody who has awareness and somebody who's from the community, act as the conduit between all parties. Yeah.
Well, you're certainly a gift to these families, helping to give them some closure to, the unspeakable that they've been living with. What's some of the feedback that you've heard from families and descendants on cases that you've worked to bring them that closure?
I don't hear too much of that because there's usually an intermediary of law enforcement, but there have been some families who reach out and ask if they can have contact with researchers. Mm-hmm. And it's humbling. It kind of rattles you, because then you realize the magnitude of, or I realize the magnitude of what I'm doing and the impact it has on others.
Well, we thank you for sharing your gift. It means a lot to a lot of people, and even if you're not hearing from all of them, you know that your work means so much. Thanks for joining us, Trish.
No problem. Thank you.